unedited.
All right, 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 all right. Let's get started, people. Let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get started. I'm sorry. Let's get started. All right. All right. Let's get started, people. Let's get started. Let's get started. Having a little technical difficulties. All right. Let's see. All right. I think there I am. I'm good now. It's better now. All right. Come on in, people. You already know what it is.
You already know what it is. Live, uncut,
Un-
unedited.
This is Sunday morning. I know a lot of us in church praising the Lord, and there's nothing wrong with praising the Lord. I recommend that you do praise the Lord. I tell you, a songwriter said, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." And definitely, I'm glad to be living in the land of the living, people. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. There's a lot of places you could be doing or be at, but you chose to chime in with me, and I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. But we're gonna have a great subject today, and I guarantee you this is going to help someone. As usual, as I always say, we have to help one another. We have to warn one another. We have to pray for one another. We all we got. We're living in a day and time where a lot of people don't understand a lot of things. I want to thank you. I want to thank my YouTube family for tuning in. And this is, I think this is lunchtime now. Actually, we call it afternoon. A lot of us in church. So don't worry about who's not on here. You on here. You can always share the video. Share the video. And hey, if you want to, you can leave me some stars. That would always help. But if not, it's no problem. This is live, uncut, unedited. Once I get into the meat of it. All right, let me recognize some people real quick. Keena Nicole, I see you. Bless you. Monique, happy Sunday to you as well. Sandra Lee Davis, great day, Martin G. I see you. Katie Brown, how you doing, Martin? All right. Brenda Gibbons, hello, Martin. I hear you. All right. Michelle Richardson, all right. I see you. All right. John Street Stelly, Marty Ball, what's up, man? Keep doing what you're doing. Our Chicago culture needs this. That's right. Tremaine Davis, what's up, Tremaine? All right. All right. Marie Sterling, how you doing? Latanya Edmondson, how are you doing? How are you doing? People, do me a favor. Make sure you share this live. People are coming on, and a lot of times you guys get mad at me because I repeat and keep saying the same thing, but you got to take in mind probably every minute or 15 seconds to a minute, more people are coming in and leaving. It's like that. It's how it works. So I'm going to share this live before I get started. I'm gonna pin it up so you guys can hear it, and it's basically talking about the workplace. And I'm quite sure a lot of us that work on these jobs have experience of someone trying to get rid of us, and you can't say you haven't, because we all have experienced that. I don't care if you're on a professional setting. I don't care if you on a if you sweeping streets, whatever you're doing. There's always somebody looking to get your job to take your place. And I'm going to give you some little wisdom on how to avoid from being fired. I'm going to give you some wisdom. Well, you say, well, Martin, I'm bad. I don't take no stuff off nobody. And I understand that. I feel the same way. But sometimes you just got to hold your peace. And that's what I want you to do. And just listen. When I explain this to you, just listen, people. And you're going to get a chance to call in and share your story and share your experience. And just be mindful when you call in and talk to me that there are other callers that want to come in and say something as well. All right. We don't want to hog up all the time. So don't act like you're the only one on the live and talking and don't give a place to other people. We want to respect because what I'm trying not to do, I'm trying not to leave people on live for a long time. That's what I'm trying not to do. I want us all to get us in, but we can only get it in a short amount of time. All right. All right. Quite sure we all don't look like nothing we've been through. I tell you, and we know how to listen. I guarantee you, somebody's going through what I'm about to talk about today on the job right now. You say, well, Martin, they racist, they political, they don't like me. I don't come in, I don't say nothing to nobody. I just do my work and I don't bother nobody. I'm on time and all those are good things. But you know, on these jobs, these bosses can be something. They can be something now, people. We can say that now. Now we need to work. We need to work. We need to work. Those of us, we need to work. Let me holler out a few more names. Hey, Sandra Davis, Katie Brown, how you doing? Brenda Givens, Michelle Richardson, how you doing? John Street Sally again, Tremel Davis again, Marie Sterling again, Latanya Edmondson, how you doing? Shirley Givens, how you doing? Monique McGee, that's right. Most of the time people need to pick their battles. That's true, Monique, I believe that. Sandra Lee Davis, a lot of us in management that know still, SP. All right, Sandra Lee Davis again, Katie Brown again, Maria Cunningham. All right, let's get into it. You know, I always have always go to like a reaction video. And thank those that tuning in. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And let's play the video. You know, I'm always playing the video, the sound, audio. So listen well, people. Listen well. I'm going to play the audio as I always do. And listen, please listen. All right.
Particularly in job situations, they set black people up. One thing, many white supremacists have concluded that in most cases, or in many cases, black people, non-white people, act according to their emotions. So they know what buttons to push. They just about know when they're going to fire you and how they're going to go about doing it, because they know when they're going to make you angry. They know how to make you angry. They know how to make you laugh. They know how to get you to relax. They know how to get you uptight. So they say, okay, well, we're going to get rid of that fella today. So we'll have him come in, and we'll start telling him this and telling him that and whatnot. We got our own strategies and whatnot. And we have been studying him, and we know that he has a temper. So at this point, this one thing, because white supremacists always study their victims, and they know more about their victims than the victims know about themselves, all right? The white supremacists know more about me than I will ever know about myself, all right? They make it their business to do that. So they can kind of predict behavior. And in job situations, when they get rid of a non-white person, they'll say, hey, what we'll do, we'll make him mad, because we know what will make him mad. So, you know, about 9 o'clock today, when he does this and whatnot, you go over and say to him this, and this. Now, that'll get him angry, and he's going to immediately blow up. He's going to start calling names and all like that. And today, by 5 o'clock, he'll be fired. So we'll just set him up for that. He'll walk right into the trap. He won't be expecting it. And this happens all the time.
Yes.
See what I mean? So non-white people should be aware of this. When they get ready to get rid of you, everything is just fine, but now he's got a cousin that needs your job, and he says, hey, well, Henry, I mean, you know, that black guy down there, he's got that position, and he's doing an excellent job and all like that. Say, well, but my cousin needs that job. So how are we going to get rid of Henry and do it all nice and neat? Say, well, we'll make him angry. So you know how these people are. You know, they always got a chip on their shoulder and whatnot. They always want somebody to respect them.
Mm-hmm.
They're real big on respect. So you say something that sounds like you're disrespecting them, he's going to go off. It's not going to be disrespect, because these black people don't even know what respect is. See, they just know what we have told them.
So they set them up, huh?
They don't have a definition for respect.
Mm-hmm.
They think they do. Okay? So we'll have them play in our hands, just like they do with everything that we relate to them. That's why we are dominant. That's why we are white supremacists. And that's why they're always victims, because they do not think ahead. You know, they only think about how they feel at the moment. And we'll always use that against them, because they're very emotional people. You know, Fly off the handle real quick. See what I mean? But you got to know what buttons to push. And we know what buttons to push because we understand them better than they understand themselves.
You're being set up. Yeah.
You know, when you run the kindergarten, I mean, you know your
Listen,
children.
people.
All right. And that's what the white supremacists look at the whole world of non-white people. They say, we know how to move these people around. They don't even know they're being moved around. We know how to, set them up for make them laugh like you wouldn't believe. And we know how to make them mad. I mean, just have them, storming around the place, knocking things over. We know how to do that. See, so we'll just orchestrate it. Anytime we want them to do anything, we know how to handle them. They don't know anything about how to handle us, even though they think they do. That's why they're in the position that they're in, and we're in the position that we're in. We're white supremacists, and they are victims of white supremacy.
All right, people, I'm going to play a little bit again.
Patients, when they get ready to get rid of a non-white person, they'll say, hey, what we'll do, we'll make him mad, because we know what will make him mad. So, about 9 o'clock today, when he does this and whatnot, you go over and say to him this, and this. Now, that'll get him angry, and he's going to immediately blow up. He's going to start calling names and all like that. And today, by 5 o'clock, he'll be fired. So we'll just set him up for that. He'll walk right into the trap. He won't be expecting it. And this happens all the time.
Yes.
See what I mean? So non-white people should be aware of this. When they get ready to get rid of you, everything is just fine, but now he's got a cousin that needs your job, and he says, hey, well, Henry, that black guy down there, he's got that position, and he's doing an excellent job and all like that. Say, well, but my cousin needs that job. So how are we going to get rid of Henry and do it all nice and neat? Say, well, we'll make him angry. So you know how these people are. They always got a chip on their shoulder and whatnot. They always want somebody to respect them.
Mm-hmm.
They're real big on respect. So you say something that sounds like you're disrespecting him. He's going to go off. It's not going to be disrespect, because these black people don't even know what respect is. See, they just know what we have told them.
So they set them up, huh?
They don't have a definition for respect.
Mm-hmm.
They think they do. Okay? So we'll have them play in our hands, just like they do with everything that we relate to them. That's why we are dominant. That's why we are white supremacists. And that's why they're always victims, because they do not think ahead. They only think about how they feel at the moment. And we'll always use that against them, because they're very emotional people. They fly off the handle real quick. See what I mean? But you got to know what buttons to push. And we know what buttons to push because we understand them better than they understand themselves.
You're being set up. Yeah.
When you run the kindergarten,
I'm going to hold it right there, people. I need some callers. Call in, people. We'll just talk about call-in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. All right, people. Now, the purpose of me playing this today is we understand what has happened here in the city of Chicago. Not only in the city of Chicago, New York, all these other states that call themselves, or cities that call them sanctuary cities. They have to make room for more jobs. They have promised the migrants work. They promised migrants work. And so a lot of these little tricks are going to be played on us, people. Some of you guys been on these jobs 10 years, 11 years, 20 years, and you're going to get fired. They're going to intimidate you. I'm telling you, this message is for somebody that's in the workforce. You better listen. They know what button to push. All of a sudden, your manager's acting strange now. You have a custom of working a certain way. Now all of a sudden they want to change. So they want that feedback, that negative feedback, to give them a reason to write you up. Well, you say, well, Martin, I'm in a union. They have to go through proper channels to fire me. And I've learned when I've been in the union, a lot of some of these jobs, people, the union click right in with some of these employers. They click right in with them. Listen, now if you're on there stealing and coming in late, you gave them your job. Now, if you stealing on a job and keep coming in late, they didn't fire you. You fired yourself. Now, that's on you. Now, if you out there, you coming to work on time, you're performing, you're doing things what you're supposed to do. Now, if they've been harassing you, waiting, saying little things to you, you people are lazy, saying little things like that to get you to snap. So I'm saying this for a reason. They're looking for jobs for migrants, and they're going to replace people with migrants, young migrants, probably through 18 to 30, 34, strong. What I mean strong, physically strong. And they want to bring in a whole new breed of workforce and train them, just like the military. They're not looking for old man 54 myself. I'm too far gone. They need some young, impressionable minds, young, hungry people that's ready to get out here. That's who they're looking for. I need some callers. It's real. Somebody's going through exactly what I'm talking about today, what we're talking about today. I'm going to play a little bit and wait on the caller. Rewind it. This is true, people. This is true. Somebody going through this. Listen.
Neat. Say, well, we'll make him angry.
See? Hold on.
Guy down there, he's got that position.
Listen.
And he's doing an excellent job and all like that. Say, well, but my cousin needs that job.
See?
So how are we going to get rid of Henry and do it all nice and neat? Say, well, we'll make him angry. So you know how these people are. You know, they always got a chip on their shoulder and whatnot. They always want somebody to respect them.
Mm-hmm.
They're real big on respect. So you say something that sounds like you're disrespecting him. He's going to go off. It's not going to be disrespect, because these black people don't even know what respect is. See, they just know what we have told them.
So they set them up, huh?
They don't have a definition for respect.
Mm-hmm.
They think they do. Okay? So we'll have them play in our hands, just like they do with everything that we relate to them. That's why we are dominant. That's why we are white supremacists. And that's why they're always victims, because they do not think ahead. You know, they only think about how they feel at the moment. And we'll always use that against them, because they're very emotional people. You know, they fly off the handle real quick. See what I mean? But you got to know what buttons to push. And we know what buttons to push, because we understand them better than they understand themselves.
You're being set up. Yeah.
Set up. People, again, being set up.
Particularly in job situations.
Listen, people.
They set black people up. One thing, many white supremacists have concluded that in most cases, or in many cases, black people, non-white people, act according to their emotions. So they know what buttons to push.
They're banking on this.
They just about know when they're going to fire you and how they're going to go about doing it, because they know when they're going to make you angry. They know how to make you angry. They know how to make you laugh. They know how to get you to relax. They know how to get you uptight. So they say, okay, well, we're going to get rid of that fella today. So we'll have him come in, and we'll start telling him this and telling him that and whatnot. We got our own strategies and whatnot. And we have been studying him, and we know that he has a temper. So at this point, this one thing, because white supremacists always study their victims, and they know more about their victims than the victims know about themselves, all right? The white supremacists know more about me than I will ever know about myself, all right? They make it their business to do that. So they can kind of predict behavior. And in job situations, when they get ready to get rid of a non-white person, they'll say, hey, what we'll do, we'll make him mad, because we know what will make him mad. So, you know, about 9 o'clock today, when he does this and whatnot, you go over and say to him this, and this.
Now, hold it right there. Now, listen. This is true, people. This is very true. Those of us that are working have worked on jobs, and this same identical thing have happened to us. All of a sudden, we thought we were such great worker. We just passed our evaluation and got maybe a little raise, a living cost raise, and all of a sudden now it's like they picking on us on a job. Now I'm not talking to those that's coming in late because you asking for it. Keep calling off work, you firing yourself, or you're not performing on a job. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those that are doing their job. Those are working, doing what they're supposed to do at the job. But for some strange reason, they're trying to get rid of you. Those are the ones that I'm talking to. So don't holler the race card if you know you haven't been at work on time and you calling off every time after payday. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those that go to work, that work, be on time, do what they're supposed to do. That's who I'm talking to. And listen, more likely, you guys know, and I know, if you are in control of the hiring process, you more likely to hire somebody on word of mouth, or So, but what you have to do, you have to make room for them, the position. Well, you know what? Let's go over there at Martin Johnson Station. We know he a pro-black brother. He don't like that talk. You don't like you standing over him when he working. He don't like that. So we're gonna go to his station every 5 minutes, check on him, see what he's doing. Or we'll stand over and just start staring, don't say anything. And we know he's gonna explode. And when he explodes, that's it. We're gonna have him escorted off the premises by the police. I tell you, listen, somebody call in. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like I'm a stranger. What I'm saying. Some of you guys are going through this right now. Somebody said this is very demonic. Yes, it is, but it's real. It's real. You have people right now have made an agreement with death and hell. This is who I am, and this is the way I'm going to die. This is what I'm going to do. I've heard some of you weed smokers say, I'm going to smoke to the day I die. I've heard some of you guys say, hey, I'm going to be a criminal until I die. This is all I know. So come on, call in. People, the lines are open. The number to my right and to my left. Call in. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about, because this is real. I'm not making this stuff up. Your job is going to be in jeopardy. Some of the ones that's working.
Now that'll get him angry, and he's going to immediately blow up. He's going to start calling names and all like that. And today, by 5 o'clock, he'll be fired. So we'll just set him up for that. He'll walk right into the trap. He won't be expecting it. And this happens all the time.
Yes.
See what I mean? So non-white people should be aware of this. When they get ready to get rid of you, everything is just fine, but now he's got a cousin that needs your job, and he says, hey, well, Henry, I mean, that black guy down there, he's got that position, and he's doing an excellent job and all like that. Say, well, but my cousin needs that job. So how are we going to get rid of Henry and do it all nice and neat? Say, well, we'll make him angry. So you know how these people are. They always got a chip on their shoulder and whatnot. They always want somebody to respect them.
Mm-hmm.
They're real big on respect. So you say something that sounds like you're disrespecting him. He's going to go off. It's not going to be disrespect, because these black people don't even know what respect is. See, they just know what we have told them.
So they set them up, huh?
They don't have a definition for respect.
Mm-hmm.
They think they do. Okay? So we'll have them play in our hands, just like they do with everything that we relate to them. That's why we're dominant. That's why we're white supremacists. And that's why they're always victims, because they do not think ahead. They only think about how they feel at the moment. And we'll always use that against them, because they're very emotional people. They fly off the handle real quick. See what I mean? But you got to know what buttons to push. And we know what buttons to push, because
All right, I got a caller. People. Hey, caller, 1822 over there. Hey, caller, you're live, uncut, unedited. Come on, caller, talk to us. Talk to us, caller.
Good morning, Martin. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Good morning. I thought that were you, but I won't mention your name. Go ahead. I
I'm
know.
a little winded because I'm working out.
Okay, go ahead. So
But
talk
I
to
do
us.
want to say this. I do want to say this. We need to pick our battles. And when we're on a job, remember that they don't owe us nothing but one thing, and that's a paycheck, compensation, whether it's weekly, biweekly, and if you have some sort of county or government job, it may be monthly. That's all they owe us. So we can't go in there saying that we demand a level of respect because they don't owe us nothing but one thing. And a lot of states are at will states. You don't even have to push a button. We just gonna let you go today, and that's just it. You get unemployment, and we shouldn't be satisfied with an unemployment check because it doesn't pay the bills. But when I talk about picking of the battles, sometimes your coworkers can help management set you up. They get together at the water cooler or on break, on lunch, and they know you're really vocal, and they know that you're going to spearhead this campaign against management, and then you're going to be the only voice that's advocating for everybody else, and you're going to be the first to go, and probably the only to go, because Jody, who just graduated college, he's the manager's son, need that position because he's only worth mowing lawns. That's all he can do. That's all he's capable of doing. So he needs to come there. And you're giving up your job because you're going on a job and then you're thinking that you're demanding this respect and whatever. One thing, if we go to work and we focus on our goal, and our goal is to take care of our household, pay our bills, and stop thinking that people need to respect us, owe us anything. We got this chip. Take that chip off. They can let us go anyway. But we need to also focus on a plan B when they do. So what's the plan B? What are you saving for? What's your purpose outside of punching the clock? We got to focus on something else. And yeah, do they micromanage people to get rid of people? Yeah, they do. Have you ever sat next to a person that you trained and then eventually took your job? It's a lot of games that they play. But we got to be vigilant on the job. We got to stop being we got to stop advocating for a group of people because that's the setup too. And just come there and do your part. There's a level of respect you have to have for yourself. And you got to have your own morals, your foundation that you were born with, your family put inside to you. You invest in yourself. Stop thinking these jobs are responsible for making sure that you have the American dream. No. Then you got people coming into the country that's getting ready to take some of these positions because we getting ready to give it to them because we getting ready to blow up. Then we don't understand that there's people that's still outside the country. In the Ukraine, I'll be honest, who's actually working from home in the Ukraine, getting paid. So they don't even have to come here to take your job. So what's our plan B? What's our foundation? What's your goal? What's your purpose? It's not to punch these people clock, to advocate for your coworkers.
You said a mouthful. You said a mouthful. What do you have to say about, like I made it plain clear, I'm not talking about the ones that's coming in late, calling off work all the time, hair performing. That you're giving your job away. You're giving it away. What do you have to say about that?
Can I give you a personal testimony?
Yes, you can. This is live uncut. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Tell the
You
truth.
already know what it is.
Hold on, live, uncut, unedited.
All right, go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
I worked as a safety director
Mm.
for 17 years at a company. This wasn't given to me. I worked my way up. Started payroll. Just worked my way up to where I wanted to be in this company. So I hit the ceiling in my position. I was not only the only Black in my role, which is a male-dominated role, I was the only Black person in the building. So when they decided they wanted that for someone who was grossly unqualified, then they start playing the games. They don't have to push your buttons because I don't come to work with a button. I come to work with a goal and a purpose. So they had they had to kick it up a notch with me. So what they did was they start playing in their system, changing the numbers, deleting things, creating things. So that's what they did for me.
Mm.
Then, because I recognized it early on, I kicked it up a notch also. While I was still planning for Plan B,
You broke it up.
instead
Okay, hold on. You're breaking
they
up.
had someone
You was breaking up. It was getting good. Go back to Plan B. Plan B. Start from there again.
So I had to exercise a Plan B. I always have a Plan B in place. And so I was sexually harassed on the job multiple times. No one ever saw anything. So I know I could never depend on my coworkers. I could never depend on my peers. I was a part of the leadership team, so I know they wanted to keep their job and they didn't look like me, so they was not going to advocate on my behalf. So eventually, Martin, they let me go. They let me go and packed up everything, my PC, my everything, all of my reporting, anything in my office, they packed up. And there was one person in the company sent me a photo of everything that they packed up, and it said pending litigation because they knew I had a lawsuit. So, but what I made the conscious decision to do was to just pray about it, and I let it go because they don't owe me anything, because I really believe what's for me, God gonna bless for me. And he did over and over and over again, because I live by a certain creed for myself and not for what man is going to give me. That's your clock. You get somebody else to punch it. You get some, and right now, companies cannot generate the same numbers as they did before. The same people who was part of the group who let me go are no longer there. Same people who they let go after me tried to.
Oh, you break it up again.
Company. I won't know. I don't.
You break it up again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the same people that left. Hold on, sir. Hold on. I got somebody before you. The same people that left after you, right? Well, got fired, terminated, whatever.
Yes,
Start
they
from that
got
point.
rid of after you.
Right.
There was no one in the leadership position that was there to help them transition me out. So, but a lot of them started a new company. They worked at and tried to come back and get me. Then they all wanted to involve me in a class action lawsuit, but my God said, no, you don't want nothing to do with that, because I'm good. So we gotta have a purpose, and we gotta stop saying you gotta know your worth, and you don't know your worth. What does that mean to us? So what's our purpose? We gotta determine what's our purpose. And we got to stop leaning on these people thinking that they need to respect us. There's no such thing as going on the job and asking for anything other than compensation that you signed up for day one during your orientation. That's all they owe you. That's it.
Wow. Hold it, my dear sister. Let me see what the next caller have to say. Hey, caller, 1285. You're the next caller, live, uncut, unedited.
Yes, this is Lillian Ivy. I just had a.
Hey, hey, how you doing?
I'm gonna try to be real brief.
No, go ahead. Take your time. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, let's bring back work ethic. Work ethic, know your job. Sometimes you have to document. I worked in the public school system for 20 years, and if someone tries to do that to you as far as having you being fired, if you come to work on time, if you do your job, you have no accusations against you, a lot of things like that. You have proof on your side, of course, God too. You have proof on one side. So if someone tries to fire you and God allows it, God is always going to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
But some people come and don't have the work ethic. They talk about folks. They do whatever they want to do. So when it's time to be fired, you fired yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's going to take your job unless God allows it. But if you know you're doing your job every single day and being faithful and doing what you're supposed to do as far as work ethic is concerned, no one's just going to come in and take it. But if God allows it to happen, then guess what's going to happen next? Another blessing is in store.
Mm-hmm. Do me a favor, my dear sister. Turn your Facebook down. I can hear echo. Some playing in the background, so you won't hear echo. So just turn.
Oh, that might be the other phone.
Okay, yeah, just move it away from you then. Just move it away from you.
Oh, no, there we go. I turned it off.
Okay, there where you. Okay, good. Now, listen, I believe exactly what you said. And a lot of these jobs, they do set workers up. And like you said, most important thing that you said,
oh, yes,
documentation. You have to document. Documentation. I used to work in a social service agency. And with the golden rule that we said, they taught us in social service, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. So you could be telling the gospel truth. But if you didn't make a report or document, it didn't happen as far as they're concerned. So everything has to be documented. I have a friend that I know that
is true.
He works on a job. He might be listening, he may not be, I don't know. Anytime that he have any type of confrontation on the job with a boss or coworker, he always make a note of it, the date and time. Always. That's important, people. That is important now. That's very important. So you can always, so when
why that's something.
Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
That is something because I had that experience being in the school for 20 years. I'm going to be real brief with this.
Go ahead.
I was working with a teacher in a special ed classroom, and the teacher kept telling me, you got to hit the child to make them listen. I said, you know what? I've been in schools for a while, and I'm not hitting nobody's child. So I said, you know what? God told me to open up your notebook and start documenting everything that's going on up in here. So when time came, I had to go to the principal with my documentation. And come to find out, the teacher sat there and said, oh, I would never do nothing like that. I would never tell her to do anything like that. Come to find out, when I had the notebook in front of the principal, she started turning them pages. And when she started turning them pages, she said, you know what? She told the teacher by her name. She said, you know what? She's been documenting everything you said, everything you did. So you going to tell me as a principal that you didn't do these things? And before that was over, the principal asked the teacher, can you still work with her? And I said, no, it ain't the fact that I can work with her. Can she work with me? And I ended up working there for several more weeks, but there was another assistant in that classroom that made things even worse for me. But then God said, you know what, it's time to go. And he moved me on to another school. But that's how God do. If he tell you the time is up, the time is over, then do what God tell you to do. So documentation is really important.
Really important, people. Really important. Don't try to base it on your memory. Write it down. Your phone, you got notes in your phone. You can put it in your phone. Do not try to remember everything. Sometimes when you're all emotional, you can't think. You have we call it a brain fart. You frozen. That's what we call it. But seriously, and you can't
And
think
now we're
straight.
getting older, so we forget some things. Like you go to the doctor, you don't feel good.
Right,
But when you get there, you're like, wait a minute. I don't remember what I'm here for.
right. Yeah,
Oh, I feel better.
right. So, and I appreciate that for the documentation. Monique, what did you have to say about what you just heard there? About the documentation things too. Caller. All right.
He
1820.
probably documented.
Yeah. Okay. I got another caller too coming. Somebody else calling in too. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Listen, I'm gonna give him a minute to come in. Let's listen to a little bit more before this caller come in. Just maybe a minute or two. You know, I like to soothe it in, you know, let people know what we're talking about.
Make you angry. They know how to make you
Again, I'll jump in again.
Okay.
1822, Martin.
Okay.
that in most cases, or in many cases, black people, non-white people, act according to their emotions. So they know what buttons to push. They just about know when they're going to fire you and how they're going to go about doing it, because they know when they're going to make you angry. They know how to make you angry. They know how to make you laugh. They know how to get you to relax. They know how to get you uptight. So they say, okay, well, we're going to get rid of that fella today. So we'll have him come in, and we'll start telling him this and telling him that and whatnot. We got our own strategies and whatnot. And we have been studying him, and we know that he has a temper. So at this point, this one thing, because white supremacists always study their victims, and they know more about their victims than the victims know about.
All right, I'm gonna leave right there. Go ahead, 1822. Go ahead. And I got a new caller. 1822. Go ahead.
Okay. In regards to documentation, it's fantastic. It's good to have documentation.
Yeah.
But I will say this, because of my 17-year journey, I was required to document everything, not just for myself, but for everyone that fell up under my leadership. The thing about documentation when it comes to people, if they want to get rid of you in the at-will state or even a non-at-will state, working while black, the thing about that is that you come with your documentation, they will come with not only mounds of documentation, they will come with their attorneys with the documentation. Their HR would pair up with that company attorney to take away everything that you're saying and combat everything that you're saying and say, okay, let's dispute this. This happened with this. And when they start getting those witnesses, and this is what the HR does, a part of their investigation is to say, okay, this person have a dispute. This person is saying that they're being wrongfully terminated from retaliation when it comes to on a job. Then you're going to get your peers, they're going to make a statement on the company's behalf. Why? Because then they know that they have a review coming up. They know they have a mortgage coming up. Some of them probably don't even supposed to be working in the United States, but guess what? Who they going to advocate on the behalf of? The company, because I need to punch that clock tomorrow. You got to go because you've been a big mouth anyway. Even if you had not been a big mouth, you got to go anyway because the company don't want you here. So they're going to get rid of you. Then with these attorneys, if it goes to the next level, then with these attorneys, I hate to say it, they have a relationship with the EEOC. And then when your case goes to the EEOC, which it does take a while for it to get there because they have to do their investigations too, all of these people are in bed together with one another. Let's keep it real. They are all in bed with one another. And then you're going to end up on the losing side. And some people document what happens to them on a job, but never document what I want out of it when they say that, yes, I am right. This happened to me. We could never answer what I want out of it. And then if we do say what I want out of it, it's so low budget. We don't even go for what we actually deserve.
Hold it right there.
It's a full circle, Martin.
Yeah, hold it right there. 6557. You're next caller, live, uncut, unedited. Hey,
Hey,
caller.
Martin, this is Keenan Nicole.
Hey, Keenan Nicole. I was trying to figure out who number that is. I don't have call ID, but I know the numbers when they pop up. How you doing? Keenan Nicole. What's going on, Keenan? Talk to us.
Listen, that lady that was just speaking, oh my God, it's like she's telling my story. And okay, back in 2005, right?
Mm-hmm.
I worked for the post office. This was before they came up with this. You work 360 days, you off for a couple of days. No, I was
Right.
a part-time flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that heard anything about the post office knew if you worked on that 90th day, you was automatically gonna be a permanent employee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I go to work every day. I took pride in it. I'm like, the post office is an elite job. I'm in here. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And I'm thinking that's enough, right? It wasn't. I go to work every day. I get there early. I do what I'm supposed to. I don't know what's happening, but I know it's something. So I say, Granny, something's happening on this job, and it's not making sense to me. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but these people are picking at me. I'm not troublemaking. I'm getting along with everybody. I don't know what's going on. Come to find out, one of the mail handlers, he say, listen, I see you. You do your work every day. When they had you training to be a clerk, right? They had me train you. I trained you harder because I saw how they was coming at you. And that dude was a worker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Martin, when I tell you, it was so cool. At first, I got in with all the drivers that would come. And I told them, I say, y'all, I know they say you're supposed to speak positive and do all of that. I say, they trying to get rid of me. And I don't know why. I found out it was because I'm a chubby person, but it was a chubby person there before me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I understand it, she was a very lazy, non-working person.
Mm.
So in the gate, when they saw me, they're like, oh, we got another one. We're not going to let this fly. But I was working. Martin, in like 45 days, I had dropped 30 pounds. I was working my butt off.
Mm-hmm.
When it was all said and done, on my 90th day, I had went and I started working on the P.O. boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had this test. Anybody that's familiar with the post office know about it. It's called the scheme test. They say you got to know. The scheme test is basically knowing the whole route of your office that you work in. You're supposed to get a 95 on that test, and then you good. I get a 92, and I guarantee you they walk me up out of there.
Mm.
People talking about, oh, the union can help you, and Martin, nobody helped me. So when I hear people talk about the union, I'm like, I don't have a good experience with the union. You understand? And then on top of that, it was 52 employees in that office. 50 out of 52 did a petition to get me back. It was the carriers, the clerks. Everybody was trying to get me back. But the postmaster was like, nah, we're not doing that. And so what did I do? My grandmother said, yeah, I told you to write down all this stuff. You did it. So I reached out to different attorneys here, like that last caller said, that them attorneys are in bed with that EEOC. I could not get one attorney to represent me against the post office. Do you hear me? Not one. So I said, okay, don't worry about it. We gonna send letters to whoever. Somebody gonna respond. It went all the way up to DC. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there no more, but I guarantee you, they did a shake-up in that office, and as a result of me fighting, it was 6 other Black women that was able to keep their job.
Mm.
Sometimes we are that sacrificial lamb for change. I'm not saying I'm a millionaire. I'm not even saying I'm a thousandaire. But what I am saying is my time that I was there, I made an impact. You understand?
Mm.
And I was able to save some other people. I'm good right now. Not one day have I been outdoors. Not one day have I been home. I am a blessed individual. But those people, they was on the verge of losing their job too. And I'm like, you know what? I'm that fighter. Okay, I fought for them.
I didn't know I was fighting for them, but here I am now. I'm doing all right. I work from my house. I don't have to go out in the elements and all that other stuff, but I had to go through that to get to where I'm at now. And I wouldn't change anything, because when I say I literally didn't do anything wrong, and I started wigging out my own self, like, okay, well, what did you do? Maybe you did this. I'm like, no, you went to work every day. You did what you were supposed to.
Let me ask you a question.
Them customers,
Kenny,
100%.
Let me ask you a question,
Uh-huh.
Kenny Nicole. Now, you said that test that you had needed to make a 95, you made a 92. You didn't think that had anything to do with it?
That's what they said, but they was trying to get rid of me, so they had to find something. They didn't have anything else.
Okay.
What I found out later, though, again, like what that caller was just saying, they had two different files. The one that I could see, the one that I couldn't see. The one that I couldn't see had all kind of stuff in there. And I'm like, when did this happen? That never happened. And then they were so shell-shocked when we went to mediation, and I brought that petition before them because they didn't know how it happened. And so then it was like, all I said was, I want to be made whole. I'm not asking for anything extra. You understand? I just want my job back and my losses. I want to recoup my losses, and then I go to work. That didn't happen because it then became a personal thing. And I did find out later, too, that postmaster, he was the boss in the post office, but his wife was the one who ran everything. So he had to act away when he was at work because that was the only time he had power. I'm like, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, I'm here to do my job. But again, and at real estate, I don't care how great of an employee you are. If that company wants you gone, you gonna go. That's just it, and that's all.
Okay. Thank you for that testimony. 1285, you'd like to say anything else? 1285?
Oh, you know what? I am just really listening to both sides of it. That was good. A testimony of someone actually on the job, and then the other side of it too. But as far as the attorneys and the other end, look, we got documentation, like the lady said about EEOC and all that. That is true too. So that's why it's good. We feel better in our head, I believe, if we doing our part, even though they're going to do theirs too. I believe God will put it in our conscience to feel led, guided, and directed by God. If we do our part, even though they're going to do what they do, I really believe that if we do what we do, we're going to have a clear conscience in the whole situation. So the comments that we're hearing is very good. And Martin, God bless you. It's just a blessing.
Thank you. Somebody want to know the number. The number is, listen, people, this is the number.
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
All right, that's the call in, and the numbers to my left and to my right is both numbers are on the screen. If you can't get through one number, call the other number. You're welcome to call in. We're taking live call-ins. Also, while you guys waiting, I'm going to play the video again, just a little bit of it, and so you know what, bring you guys up to speed where we're talking about. This is what we're talking about right here.
Particularly in job situations, they set black people up. One thing, many white supremacists have concluded that in most cases, or in many cases, black people, non-white people, act according to their emotions. So they know what buttons to push. They just about know when they're going to fire you and how they're going to go about doing it, because they know when they're going to make you angry. They know how to make you angry. They know how to make you laugh. They know how to get you to relax. They know how to get you uptight. So they say, okay, well, we're going to get rid of that fella today. So we'll have him come in, and we'll start telling him this and telling him that and whatnot. We got our own strategies and whatnot. And we have been studying him, and we know that he has a temper. So at this point, this one thing, because white supremacists always study their victims, and they know more about their victims than the victims know about themselves, all right? The white supremacists know more about me than I will ever know about myself. All right, they make it their business to do that, so they can kind of predict behavior. And in job situations, when they get ready to get rid of a non-white person, they'll say, "Hey, what we'll do, we'll make him mad, because we know what will make him mad." So, about 9 o'clock today, when he does this and whatnot, you go over and say to him this, and this. Now, that'll get him angry, and he's going to immediately blow up. He's going to start calling names and all like that. And today, by 5 o'clock, he'll be fired. So we'll just set him up for that. He'll walk right into the trap. He won't be expecting it.
Hold it right there. I got a new caller, 6112. Hey, go ahead, caller, 6112. Go ahead, caller. I think that's Reb the Barber.
What's going on, Mark?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, everybody?
Peace to you.
Yeah, I'm listening, and this just making me call in just to remind what I just experienced in Home Depot. I say about a week ago, and it wasn't directly coming from a white person, but now a gatekeeper that's a non-white but not black. Let's say a migrant, Hispanic. So over there on Cicero, around the Home Depot on Cicero, on the west side, over there renting a $27 carpet cleaner to finish up a carpet job that I had in one of the units. Now I don't work for Home Depot. I'm a business owner, so I'm in the working field, but self-employed. So I'm renting, and I have my 2 banking cards, both of them are business cards. One of them say just debit card, but it has my business name with my name on it. And the other one say business debit with my same thing, business name and name on it. So I give them the card that I'm using concerning the job that I'm doing to rent it, and the non-white sat up there and looked at my card and then talked to a guy that popped up who was non-white, that was the supervisor on the floor, and told him that, well, it don't say business credit or business debit, so I'm just questioning if we should let him use this card. So the non-white supervisor said, well, no, we're not going to let him use the card. And then both of them tried to explain to me why they couldn't use my business debit card. You know what I'm saying? So, me being a brother is not going, but I didn't get upset to the point I was disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? That I just heard, like you got to be able to beat them at their own game too, but you got to be in position to beat them at their own game also. That's why I said I never worked for anyone. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to always do what I have to do to be self-dependent. And so, even in the matter of this business transition, there was a brother that walked into the store, a younger brother, you know what I'm saying, who the vibe of him felt like he wanted to know what was going on and cared about helping me and to do something about it. But he didn't say nothing. He stayed back. So I'm sitting up there and I'm debating, I'm arguing. So I'm asking the non-white supervisor, hey, let me speak to your supervisor. So he called his supervisor. His supervisor never come down to the floor. He's explaining to his supervisor what he feel is going on, and he sits up there, and his supervisor tell him, no, he can't use the card. So I'm like, no, okay. So now a supervisor come down to the floor who's supposed to be a supervisor, but he's a non-white supervisor again. Young guy, younger than him, sit up there and telling me why they can't use my card. So I sit up there and I pull the switcheroo because my client has an account, which is a Pro Depot account that already is doing business with the store. So we just run the transaction through there. Then the supervisor that first popped up that's non-white tell me, well, she can't use it once he looked her name up. He said that she shops more at the other Cicero and not this Cicero, so we can't do business transaction. Yeah, now look at all of the Cicero, and all this is supposed to be policy. So me, I'm typing in, let me see the policy, let me see the paperwork, let me see a receipt, let me see something to prove this of what you're saying to me, because I need to get the machine from here. I'm not going no other place, no other Cicero or nothing, you know what I'm saying? It got to the point I walked out with machine. But it was based on the character and the position that I'm in to know what I'm talking about and my right. You know what I'm saying? To be able to get this machine that's from Home Depot that I do business with, no matter who's owning Home Depot. And we know the major market of Home Depot. But look at what's on the front line of the non-whites and how we are being treated even now. Even whether you're working for them, whether you're doing business with them, they're gonna be gatekeepers as non-white. You're gonna have the white people that have their mentality. It's all in the atmosphere of everything that we're going through. So I would sit up there and encourage my brothers and sisters and to sit up there and learn. Not only do we come together, but we are all independent individuals. But take our independency and learn who we are in our independence of our way of rights and our thinking, and not under the suggestion of the belief of what gotta be. No, what gotta be is spelling itself. So I just wanted to call and encourage through the experience of what I felt and how I was able to handle that situation. Just doing business in the transaction of a major mainstream place like Home Depot.
You know, I want to real quick, I want to say something. Now, you know, you could report that to corporate, you know, and you can tell them that you are a paying customer, no matter you're using your debit, you should report them to that store, that particular store, the incident. Report that. So, because someone else may come behind you with the same identical thing that looks just like you, and they do it. White person come in there, they cheese and grinning and everything, smiling, ask them how their day was, how's the family and all that things. But you come in there, they face balled up, they looking at your card backwards and forward. Let me see your ID. They, you know, just like, okay, what a guy like this? He don't look like he don't know business, you know?
Right.
So,
right. But Mark, I walked out with the machine. That was mine.
I know.
You know, you know what I'm saying? Had I not walked out on the machine, they would have seemed more real. You know what I'm saying? I would have never walked out the place had the police came, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was gonna make some glory out the story, but I walked out the machine.
Now, when you say walking,
that's the glory in it. I got what I wanted.
Okay, all right. I'm finna say you didn't steal it.
That's the glory in the story.
All right. Yeah, you got it.
That's the glory in the story. Getting what you want. You know what I'm saying? Not just a publicity. Oh, no. You just, some people don't play with, because some people are smart. Some people don't react to things the way they want people to react to them. Like I say, I ain't got to work for none of them cracks. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I got to do for whatever I got to do independently all my life. And instead of out there looking out for my brothers and everything, and this is just me individually talking. Just imagine a few good people like us that we know of. Clone some good people. I'm talking people to do some good things, like us. If we had the mind to clone people, like they cloning people to doing all this mess that they doing, to do all this evil rituals, well, we could clone people like us. We got to independently, unitly come together with a good mindset, to have a good character, that they may not sit up there and use against us what they have created out there to be. All the stuff that they created to be, and we dipped our hand into the mud and got dirty with, and now we wearing it and don't want to take it off. They made it a system, and they introduced you to it. And when they introduce you to it, you say, oh, it looks good. That forbidden fruit, it looks good. And you took thereof. And then they're using the fruit of bitterness, death, and agony and everything against you, and you wearing it. And you live what you are. You reap what you sow. We got to start sowing some ground of coming together as brothers and sisters, black and brown and black, and black in color, and native black and Asian black. I mean, like when that type of kind of power of black and stigma of magnetism come together in thoughts and doing business, Wall Street won't just be like Salmon. Understand? See, everybody can't have different answers, and they answers right now. We all are one. That's what I believe in.
Yeah, we all are one, but we ain't operating as one. That's the difference. See, that's the difference. We all one, but we ain't operating as one. You know, so I hear you. I hear you, Doc, because it's a lot going on. And it's this discrimination going on everywhere. But we have to start doing the follow-up, people. At least document it. Even if you're not going to do a lawsuit or things like that, we have to do the follow-up on these things, because like the sister said, Kingdom Nicole said, she did not know that she was fighting for the other workers. She didn't get her job back, but she made it possible where the other 6 ladies kept their job just because what she have experienced. As she said, she was the sacrificial lamb in this situation. But right now she spoke, she's doing great. She's working from home. That's a blessing. And like she said, they prejudged her because of the way she looked. And that's happening all the time, people. That's happening all the time. So this is real, people. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sister.
Prejudged.
Oh, okay. I tell my family in general, when you get a job, have integrity about yourself. Let people take up for you, not talk about you. When I was in the schools, for the 20 years I was in the Chicago public school system, I can really say, by the grace of God, I can really say this. No accusations. Nobody can say that I did anything to them. Now the administrator can say on the reverse that I was reprimanded for this, that, and the other. You know why? Because when you have integrity about yourself, people take up for you and not talk about you. Do that when you get a job. Clock in, clock out, do your job, and leave. Because the more you talk and the more you get into stuff, then that's a prime example of how people can just build a case on you. See, but if you do what you're supposed to do, in and out, that's when I first started the conversation earlier about having work ethic, get off your phone, close your mouth, clock in, clock out, and get out of there. But see, so half of the folks now that's working remote, they need to go back into the job because they can't even be on their computer and their phone and they can't have talk right. Some of them say it's time for everybody to go back to work in the work setting downtown into the office buildings, but some of them, I don't know how they ready though. So I'm going to keep it short, but like I said, with the work ethic and having integrity about yourself, going into your job, so people can take up for you and not talk about you because they will. A lot of my family members may tell me they start a new job, and I tell them that. Go in, do your job, and come out.
Yeah.
You know, build a good case of reputation for yourself. So
you know what I learned too?
You know.
You're right, sister. I learned too when I was doing social service. I made it a practice to go in there, be on time, not to miss days, work. Don't go hang out with employees after work and all of they do not get personal. Don't tell them all your business and all that. So, and like you said, the less you talk, the better you are. The less they know, the better you are. You have some couples that is involved in an interracial relationship, but they don't know that. They don't tell the people on the job because they know because of afraid of discrimination. So I've heard stories like that.
True. People
have worked on the job and they might be one race, but they're married to a different type of race. They have no pictures or nothing. They don't talk about their other half or anything. So people,
but you know, that's something you said about interracial, because me being African American and Asian, my parents were married for 48 years. When I was in the school, the way I spoke, they can tell me. They say, "Oh, Mrs. Abby, you must be mixed." I said, "Yeah, you're right. My father was African American. My mom was Asian. Which one you want to see today?" And I don't even know if you want to see Asian, because my mom, she spoke her mind. My dad was cool, calm, and collected, but both of them together, which one you want to see today? And that's how I was in the schools. I'll be nice, cool, calm, collected, and I can tell you, you know what? When you get a real job one day, you're gonna have to do this and the other. So I represented both in the schools, because the way the children were in the schools, you have to do both. You have to show love, and then you have to show judgment too. Because when they get in the real world, if you can't be on time, you won't have a job. If you can't do what your boss says, you're not going to have a job. And that's just how it is. And it's so sad it's like that. And it's so sad that African Americans were losing jobs based on people want to take them because somebody else want to get it. Like your recording, when the man was saying that, he said that they're losing jobs, good work and everything, and you still going to lose your job. But you know what? God is faithful and real. You know what he does? When the door of opportunity closes, guess what's going to happen? that other door is going to open. God said, okay, I use you, like you said, the sacrificial lamb. Like she lost her job, but she opened door for other people. See, that happened. It may happen. But what God is, he will close it, but then another one's going to open. He never leaves you just out there like that because he's faithful. So
right. And let me just say, I want to say some things too. Now, being on time every day, doing what you're supposed to, still don't guarantee that you're going to keep your job, because we know these big corporations, they can close their door and shut down and say, hey, we letting everybody go. We moving overseas. That has happened. That have happened. It still is happening. And I tell people all the time, everything in life is only on loan to us for temporarily. Everything. Your job, your car, your husband.
Jobs ain't no more.
Yeah, I tell you. So,
40 years steel mill jobs are not there no more.
Yeah, and I tell people, you guys are looking down on other people because you have a professional job now, a corporate America job. And then listen, always be careful. That same bridge that you tied out, you might have to build it back and walk back over it again. So you have to be careful how you treat people. When the
job that you leave.
That's it. Listen, it's a lot of people. Now, I use the storage bin to store my, store a lot of things. And I see a lot of people going in there living out the storages, people. They go in there, change their clothes, get a change of clothes, put it in their trunk. I see it all the time. I mean, nice cars. If you see them, if you look at them, I'm talking about both males and females, you would not think that this person is living out the storage. I'm telling you, it's people out here. Nobody knows the things that you've gone through. None of us really looks like what we've been through. None of us. Most of us, I'll say that.
No, we gotta. Yeah, that's true. We gotta kind of make it look good.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Who wants to let everybody know that you don't have no food in your refrigerator? Who wants to let everybody know that you can't pay your mortgage or your car note? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Not you, girl. Not you, homie. You the one got the nice jewelry, the $1,000 purse, and you live in Oak Forest, and you live in Beverly, and you live in these different, and not you that work every day. Yes, listen, things can happen. They can happen, people. So I'm telling those that going to work every day, they're doing what you're supposed to do. Your job still isn't guaranteed as well. But like the sister said, go there, have your integrity, do what's right, so God can bless you. If another door closed, God will be able to open up another door because you was faithful in doing what was right. Now, let me tell you this. I heard somebody say in the comments, well, you don't have to talk to your employee. Your workplace can be messy. Yes, they can. But a lot of things they don't have to know about you. They don't have to know that your lights are off. They don't have to know that your gas is off. They don't have to know that you're relocating. You're moving out of your house and you're downsizing to a condo or to an apartment. They don't have to know these things unless you tell them. They don't have to know that you are in a domestic violence relationship, especially when you don't have no marks in it. You tell them, you open yourself up. They don't have to know that you are a cancer patient. If you tell them on these jobs, you don't have to have HIPAA laws. You don't have to reveal your health status. See, things you have to know, people. You have to know. You have to know, people, this is real. And you remember.
I have a couple of relatives.
Go ahead.
I have a couple of relatives right now that gave 2 weeks to a month notice to their job. They didn't have to, and I didn't even know, Brother Martin, that in Illinois, you don't even have to give a notice if you want to leave your job.
Wow.
But they get new jobs, so they tell their employer 2 weeks to a month in advance. But you know where that comes from? Integrity. I've always talked to them. I said, don't you ever leave a job and just up it. I haphazardly say, I'm gone. You better not do it. Right. And guess what? All 3 of them gave 2 weeks to a month notice. The brother that went, my nephew that went from the security guard position for the hospitals in Chicago, went to the Atlanta Police Academy. he gave his 2 weeks to month notice, and like my nieces and nephews, they went to other jobs they're going to, and his brother said, you know, you needed a month. You should have went on and told him a month. And he said no, because 2 weeks was sufficient for him, because he found out 2 weeks that he was about to go to Atlanta. Come to find out, I thank God for that, because I can look back and say, I know some things I've told them growing up. I'm 53, they're in their 20s. But how it can be a blessing, we don't even know how in disguise we can be a blessing to our family members. Just keep preaching and talking to them and saying things to them, because it resonates in their mind. And guess what? They do those very things that you don't even think they might have did.
Right. And listen, I hopefully
Giving they notice is a job, and they don't just up and leave.
that's correct. You got to be professional, because you might have to go back. You might not want to go back, but you might have to go back.
Yes, yes.
You might have to go back. And you know, so this message today, somebody need to hear this. Now you know how to navigate. When you feel like a job is trying to get rid of you, you know what to do now. You know how to navigate. They're picking. We all know when we're being picked on these jobs and discriminated against. And again, let me say this. Some of you, if your lunch break is 30 minutes, don't come back 35 minutes or 40 minutes. Seriously.
Lord bless.
You come back when you're supposed to come back. Now, don't holler the race car, they racist. Well, you gave them a chance to be racist towards you, because you came back late on lunch. Do not punch out early. Well, you see your white co-workers doing it. You can't do it. You cannot do that. You can't do what they do. You don't know who they know on the job. So you have to go by the books. What's on the policy? You can't.
People use excuses. That's
Yeah.
true. That is true.
Yeah. You know, I'm seriously, I just tell the truth, you know. Then, you know, they could never find you, always hiding, you know, you on a cigarette break. Come on now, how many cigarette breaks you gonna take? Now I'm speaking, this is real. This is real.
Amen.
Now,
But see, this is where the rubber meets the road.
yes.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it is real talk, because we play these games, we get our check on Wednesday, and we call
Brother
in.
Murray, you preaching today.
Yeah, and we call off Thursday. Oh, you call the supervisor, oh, I'm sick. Come on now, brothers and sisters, we can't do that. Then, now, those of you know me, you know I like to film. I film in the park, people dancing, and people like, man, why you filming? I called off work sick, and I'm out here dancing. Listen, they have nothing to do with me now. Nothing to do with me. Because you wasn't where you supposed to be, that's on you. So people, let us be careful on these jobs. Nothing is guaranteed. You know, we laughing, but it's funny. It's funny because a lot of us, we want people such as myself. Well, Marlon, I need you to bring awareness on the job. They picking on me. You know?
Wow.
Don't give them a reason to pick on. They're going to pick on you anyway, but don't give them a reason to pick on you. You know? So I had an incident, and I'm going to just speak briefly on it. Somebody called me one time, and they wanted me to help them out. Their son or their grandson, the police was harassing their grandson. The moment they told me that the grandson took off and ran from the police in a car, I backed up. You can't listen. People, certain things you cannot do and ask for my help. Now, if you shooting at the police, then now you asking for my help. What could I do? What could I say? You shooting at the police. Well, he upped on me first. But you know, it's nothing I can do. That's no win. That's a open and closed door there. So we have to be careful, people. We have to be careful when we do things. Yes, we're living in an unfair world where we are treated unfairly. That's why we have to be on our best behavior when it comes to certain things. So we don't need nothing. Let them get no ammunition against us. Well, Martin, I know you was late Wednesday. You didn't come back on time for lunch Thursday. Friday, you left early, so we no longer need your services. Now you screaming, you coming on Martin platform talking about they racist over there. No, you did it to yourself.
Wow.
You did it to yourself. I'm gonna give y'all this and I'm gonna let everybody go. I had a friend of mine at the flea market, at Robbins Flea Market, older guy, he older than I am, getting ready to retire probably the next 2 or 3 years. And it was a company that took over. A new management came in. And, you know, he had been there for years, still there, and he was accustomed to doing certain things a certain way. But the new management was like, okay, well, I want you to do it like this. So I asked him, I said, now listen, now you know when the new management come in, they want to bring their team with them. So they're looking to get rid of people. And you giving them ammunition, what they want to do to you to fire you. You showing resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you know this is the way you guys been doing it and it works. But this is what you say. This is what you do. I'm giving my word of advice to you is if he asks you to do a certain thing and it don't work out, remember, refer back to him. You told me to do this. Don't show no, listen, as long as you're not missing nothing on your paycheck, don't even show no resistance. All right, that's like what I told him. And you know, that guy came back and thanked me. He said, Martin, you're right. He said, man, the boss cool now. You know, I do everything he tell me to do. I'll show no, even though I'm used to doing it a certain way. I just show no resistance. You know, my check is there. Hey, and that's what it's all about. We're there, like Sister said earlier, you're there to get the money. That's it. One purpose. They're not a ministry. They're not going to pray with you. They're not going to hold your hand. They're not going to treat you like a little baby. You're there to do a job, to render a service for a wage. And that's it. And a lot of people, you want these jobs to feel sympathy for you and things like that. Let me say this last thing. My buddy, his mother had died, and the mortgage company had called him and asked him, when are you going to pay your payment? And he just told him, my mom had just died. The lady said, well, you know what? I am very sorry to hear that. But however, when are you planning to make this payment? So if you want people to sympathize with you, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. She gave her condolence, her concern, but she said, however, I need to know when you're going to make this mortgage payment. So I tell people, we living in that type of world. We living in a world where you can't trade beauty in for your Comcast payment. You can't trade beauty in for your ComEd payment. They don't want beauty. They want cash. That's what they want to pay bills. Some of us think that we're so beautiful and we're so slick at the mouth and conniving that we can get by. You cannot get by. You need that money. When you talk to Comcast, they want money. When you talk to ComEd, they want money. AT&T, they want money. T-Mobile, they want money. People's Gas, they want money. The mortgage company, they want money. The landlord, he or she wants money. I hope I'm making myself plain today. So it's finna get tight out here, people. And jobs are finna be super scarce. It's already scarce for black men because we have the highest unemployment here in the state of Illinois, probably in the country. Black men. And there's an old timer always come on here and say, he said, well, Martin, if you're not educated or have a skill set, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to steal. So you don't want to get trapped and left behind, people. And we know all in the street is a court date and a cemetery date. And that's what's going to happen. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is live, uncut, unedited. Appreciate you guys. You already know what it is. Let me get out.
You already know what
Thank
it
you guys
is.
for
Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
And I love
being black.
I really do. Let me say it again.
I love being black.
All right. Enjoy your day. Be safe. Be safe. Help somebody out. Bless somebody. Give some
God
information to people.
Be
Pray
safe.
for somebody. Don't condemn them. Don't talk about them. The much as time we spend talking about people, we can pray for them too as well. Let's do that, people. Peace out, everybody.
Mhm.
God bless. All right.
Peace out.
Peace out.